Minnesota Travel Guy speaks. How you guys doing? I'm Lee Klocke. I'm the Minnesota Travel Guy. This is Minnesota Travel Guy Speaks, Volume 5. Well, let me tell you, folks. I just got back from a week-long, not motivational seminar, a transformational seminar. There's a big difference between the two. One changes you, one just pumps you up. The transformational seminar, it changes you if you allow it to. And boy, I tell you what, I had some breakthroughs. I watched 72 people have so many breakthroughs and get rid of some old baggage and old crap and really get motivated for the future, which is me. You are looking at a transformed guy. I am gonna attack my new business even more so than I was before. The changes I saw in myself and others were beyond epic. And the clarity in my thoughts and in my business vision for the future are amazing. And they include every one of you that are listening to this. In this video, I am going to cover the universe, or God, or source, whatever you want to call it. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to call it universe, because that's fairly non-denominational. It really just doesn't matter. And how many of you know that what you put into the universe is exactly what you get out? I'm also going to cover my epiphany that I had, my aha moment that I had during this transformational convention that I was at. You're going to want to stand by and listen for that, because it's beyond epic for me. I'm also going to cover the side hustle again, because that side hustle leads right into my epic aha moment, and it could be anyone's aha epic moment, and I hope it will be your aha epic moment. And then number 4, I'm going to cover a little bit about myself. I'm gonna let you in a little bit about me and my background, what has made me here. I'm gonna try to do that on every one of these videos. I remember on the first video I said I was gonna do that. I never really have. So those are the things we're gonna cover in this video. The universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it, buds. Whatever you want to call it. But like I said, for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna call it the universe. Whatever your beliefs are, how many of you know that we're all connected through the universe? I'm going to use that term, the universe. Just like Santa, the universe knows your thoughts, your words, your deeds, even the unspoken ones. And I say that not so that we punish ourselves for what we might have done in the past. Not at all. I think we should just let that shit go. Quite honestly, let it go. And as of tomorrow, start feeding the universe what it is you really are about, what it is you want. Start believing in your dreams again. It's something that I believe we as adults really need to learn. Believe in your dreams. That belief itself will make them come true. If you truly believe, the universe will pay you back, as long as you're being a good person and feeding that universe good stuff. I say, be the best version of you, and the universe will provide an abundant life for you. I've already proven it to myself multiple times in the last 3 or 4 months since I really started living this life of living in a life of abundance, knowing that the universe will take care of me. And you have to know it. You can't just hope it. You can't want it. You have to know it. Stop living a life of scarcity. Oh, we better not do that. We don't have enough money. We better not do that. We better save for a rainy. Live a life of abundance. Live in the here and now. Tomorrow you might get run over by a bus. What are you saving it for? What's that china in the cabinet for that you're saving for a good event? Fuck that. Eat dinner on it tonight and every night afterwards. Every night is a good day. Every night is a good night to have dinner on china. What are you saving it for? If you think you can't, you're right. You're absolutely right. And if you think you can, you are also absolutely right. Number 2, my epiphany moment. Epiphany moment. My aha moment. Yes, folks, we all can have aha moments, and I had one this last week. And to tell you about it, I have to... First off, the last week I faced down a lot of the demons I've had in my whole life. Feelings of inadequacy, that I didn't really deserve anything. And I'm telling you what, that was what was holding me back this whole time. And I have been living a life of abundance for the last 3 or 4 months, and this transformational convention even strengthened that for me. I have to start with my Hurricane Ida story. I woke up the day after Hurricane Ida. It was also 3 days after I had 3 or 4 days after I had just left my job. My job of 8, 9 years. My very lucrative job of 8 or 9 years. To pursue entrepreneurial dreams. It's not the first time I've done it. I've been an entrepreneur before. Thank God I have a very loving and supportive wife in Susie Klocke. Thank God. The universe, source, whatever you want to call her. But I woke up the day after Hurricane Ida, and the universe was screaming at me, get your ass to New Orleans and help feed people. That's what it was screaming at me. Get your ass to New Orleans and go help feed people. That was the message I kept getting. I ignored it for a while, and then I called Susie and I go, you know what? I have to go to New Orleans and help. Susie being Susie, she goes, yeah, do it. Well, okay, so at this point, I have no idea where I'm going, what I'm going to do, who I'm going to cook with, who I'm going to be a chef with. I look up on the internet, who's feeding people in New Orleans. And there's an entity there headed by Gary LeBlanc, a chef, just like myself. And he had a similar awakening with Hurricane Katrina. And he saw people that he had been cooking with his whole life, people that he knew from sitting up on those bridges without food, water, clothing, a house, anything. So he created an entity called Mercy Chefs. And that began at Hurricane Katrina. And he's been going strong ever since. So I went down there. Well, let's back it up even a little bit more. This is where I'm going to tell you about the universe and living a life of abundance and not worrying about if you have enough fucking money to follow your dreams. You do. The universe will always provide if you are being a good steward and a good person and a lover of people and humanity. I had just quit my job, and I knew that it wasn't the smartest thing for me to do is go down to New Orleans on a road trip and spend the last money we have in the checkbook. So I put it up on Facebook. I've never done that before in my life. I put it on Facebook, said, hey, I have to go to New Orleans and go feed people. This is going to be my costs. If anybody wants to help me, let me know. I put up there about $1,100. Before we were through, we got nearly $2,000. I asked my brother Steve, who's also a very well-established chef, hey, you want to come with me and help me go feed people? And he immediately said yes, he had to do it too. So we had enough money because we had over what I had projected. So we went on a road trip, me and my brother. We went because the planes weren't flying in and out of New Orleans at that time. So we went on a road trip to New Orleans. We met up with Mercy Chefs and we cooked. We cooked our asses off. Second day we were there, they said, hey, if you want to go out and feed people, if you want to actually be the people handing the food out, do it. And I said, yep, I do. I want to be that person. And I wanted to experience that. I was out there. You got to remember, this is New Orleans in September. It's 185 degrees in the shade. We have no air conditioning, not even a fan to blow on us. Nothing. It's hot. if you're lucky, if you had water in your hotel where you were staying. And I'm running back and forth to cars. These cars formed a U throughout the city and the parking lot that we were in for miles for lunch and then again for dinner. Every day we were serving over 20,000 meals. I was running back and forth to the cars, and a gentleman who most of us would call a bum walked up to me and said, "Excuse me, sir, I haven't eaten in 4 days. Could I just have some food?" And some people behind me went, no, he's not waiting in line. I said, "Bullshit." And I grabbed a meal and I handed it to him. And he said, "Oh, thank you." And they had just, PepsiCo, started canning water just for Hurricane Ida, because there was no water to drink either, no safe water. And they had just handed me my 19th can of water that day, because you were dehydrating faster than you could possibly drink water. And it wasn't open yet. And he just said, "I haven't had a drink of water in over 3 days. Could I have that?" And people behind me were saying, no, he's got to wait in line. I said, "Bullshit," again. And I handed him my can of water. The guy hit his knees and started crying. And it was then at that moment in time that I thought, this is freaking America, the land of abundance. And we have 1 million people on that particular day. We had 1 million people without lights, power, and food. No grocery stores were open. Remember, there's no power, so the grocery stores couldn't be open either. There was no food available in New Orleans. And the only people cooking for folks in New Orleans were the Mercy Chefs. The only people. The Red Cross wasn't there. I mean, Mercy Chefs teamed up with many churches, and through that, we filtered food. And it was at that moment, really, the epiphany really should have been at that moment in time, but I was too busy, and I hadn't really absorbed everything. But that's really where the epiphany started for me. And Gary LeBlanc's mission statement for Mercy Chefs was just to go feed people. And if you remember, that is the message I heard the day after Ida. I woke up and I kept hearing it in my head over and over and over again. Go feed people. Go use your talents and go feed people. And it just happens to be his vision statement. Just feed people. So, step 2 of my epiphany. I had an epiphany at this transformational meeting. I will say I was there for a week, and there was so much good information being put out in this convention and transformational things that we did, and I won't go into great detail, but it was fucking amazing is what it was. Pardon my French. But the entire time I was there, I could barely hear people for the message that was screaming in my brain. You need to feed people. There shouldn't be hungry children in America right now. And as of right now, there's still 100,000 people in New Orleans without power or water or electric. Do you know about it? No, you don't, because to let people know about that, it's not a moneymaker. The news doesn't give a shit about it. It's not a moneymaker. Nobody cares. Mercy Chefs cares. So I don't know what form it's going to take right now. In my head, I am thinking so big, it's extraordinary. I want to talk to Gary. I want to see if I could pair with him. Right now, I am making the statement to the public, to the world, to the universe, that 10% of all money I make online is going to go into a special account. So that at first, until it builds up, so that at first, at least I can go help him. This will give me money to go travel, and without taking money away from my family, and go travel and help Mercy Chefs. But the long-term play on this, I believe, is I need to create my own entity. More on that later. But that is my epiphany. I need, one way or the other, the universe has spoken to me, screamed at me, go feed people. So I'm going to go feed people. 3. I said there's 4 things to this video today. The side hustle. It all comes back to the side hustle. Minnesota travel guy speaking again about the side hustle. The side hustle was the reason I was able to go down to New Orleans. And how many of you know that if money was no option, I know there are good people out there. If money was not an option and your job was not an option or a problem, how many of you would get in a bus with me and go to New Orleans and feed people if there was absolutely no money problems? That's what the side hustle will provide. Making money online. You can make more money. Why are you trading your time for money? The salary is the vaccine they give you so that you'll forget your dreams. We all have dreams, and I'm just now coming back to my dreams because I have let go of that salary, that choker collar around my neck, and I'll make way more money than my salary ever made. I know it. The universe will provide it. Already is. So number 4, I promised a little information about myself. You know, whenever you start telling people about yourself, you know, your family goes, oh shit, what is he going to say? Nothing really that bad. I came from a family of 8 children. I was number 7. I was number 7 of 7 boys. For up to, I think I was up to 8 or 9 years old. I was the last kid. I was a pretty special guy. I was the last child. So I was spoiled rotten. I have no problems admitting that at all. Compared to my brothers, I was spoiled rotten now. Spoiled rotten is different amongst all different people. I still got spankings, not as many as my brothers. I still got whoopings. Back then it was still whoopings. Got grounded all the time. That was mostly, and you know what, when people say, did you deserve it? Yeah, I did. I was kind of a shithead kid. I was born to mom, Alice Klocke, my dad, Lee Klocke. 2 very loving parents that did their best and had 8 kids. In fact, I've been an entrepreneur since I was a little kid. I used to buy my brother's 45s, which, you know, you baby boomers that are watching this, look up what a 45 is. I used to buy my brother's 45 collections, and it's not a gun, by the way, for their cigarette money. They'd want 25 cents for a pack of cigarettes, and I would just happen to have 50 cents for my paper route or whatever else I had hoarded, and I'd buy, 20 of their records. Boy, I wish I had those 45 records now. But I was an entrepreneur even then, and then when I was about 8 or 9 years old, my dad helped me with worm farming so that I could sell worms to fishermen. Didn't really work out very good. It didn't, quite honestly. The worms died. And then when I was in 6th grade, I started making shadow boxes for art supply companies. And I made a lot of money for a 6th grader in 1977, 78. And my dad helped me cut the wood on his big table saw, and I put them all together. And there was a place in Fargo, North Dakota called Grandma's Granary, which I should look up and see if it's still there. But they bought a ton of those from me. And for a 6th grader, I was walking around with fat stacks, if you know what I mean. So that was how I started. And then my little sister was born when I was probably 10 or 11. And that is when my life started changing dramatically. My family and I joke about it a lot, and it is funny. It is funny now. But at the time it wasn't. It wasn't funny at all to me. My relationship with my parents changed dramatically. All my brothers were significantly older than me. My closest brother to me was 4.5 years older than me. And up to that point, I really had my mom. My mom raised me, and then my sister was born, and she was born with some problems. And so she was I don't think I saw her until she was 4 months old. She didn't come home from the hospital. And my mom and dad did nothing wrong, and neither did my sister. It's just life. It's just the way what happened was she became the center of their universe. She was the only girl after 7 boys. She was the apple of my dad's eye, and that's just the way it was. And back from technical difficulties. Being the last of 7 boys held no weight anymore when my sister was born. And I disappeared. Really honestly did. Be that my perception, be that reality, but that was my reality, as I disappeared. My older brothers and sisters were gone. For the most part, my next older brother was quite a bit older than me, and he was almost out of high school, and he left. None of this was on purpose or with bad intent, but it did happen. I fought my feelings for recognition for years to no avail. I wasn't the first singer, so that automatically put me in back of the bus on singing, although I sing very, very well. Some people might even say I might be one of the best singers, but that doesn't matter because I wasn't the first singer. I'm not a great guitar player like 2 or 3 of my other brothers. So I had to find me. It's made me super, super independent, more so than most of my other brothers. Independent of my parents' thoughts and appreciations. I lived on my own. I lived by my own rules, which made me strong, which also made me super good through that process of manipulating people, managing people. I watched my 6 brothers before me do everything wrong, so I learned how to do things. Even if I was doing them wrong, I learned how to get away with them. I watched and watched human interactions. It's what I did my entire life. I watched. I can read faces, I think, better than the average bear. In fact, it pisses most of my kids off and my wife off that I'm right a lot about people, and I only have to meet them for about 15 seconds to realize whether they're a piece of shit or not, quite honestly. And I would say 95% of the time, I'm absolutely correct. I had many failed attempts of entrepreneurship, but not due to the problem that the business was bad. It was due to me quitting on myself. Didn't think I was worthy of success. I'm here to tell you that is over. I am very much worthy of success. So the long and the short of this is the group that I'm with now, the marketing group, the entrepreneur group that I'm with, and invite you to be a part of, is an incredible group of talented misfits in life that all had issues growing up that made them stronger in certain aspects of their life, and they're now blossoming on online marketing. It is truly an incubator for success. I'm watching it happen, and these people never leave your side. I went to this transformational group meeting for a week with 72 people, and we became a family. It's 3 or 4 days later, and I had a couple of them check in on me today. It's really amazing, and I really, really, truly invite you to become independent. Stop trading your time for money with your employer. Or maybe you want to continue to do that, but you want supplemental income so that you can have the option one day. Like me, I want the option to go feed people. This is going to help me to at least minimally have the time and money to go do that, because I'm not going to be on a leash from my employer. If I need to take 3 weeks to go help at a hurricane or an earthquake event, that's what I'm going to do. And I make this statement, I declare this to the universe. Minimally 10% of all the money I make going forward is going to go into an account, hopefully to become a nonprofit that I bounce up and I become a partner with Mercy Chefs. Not the same, but we can partner. I think mine will just be Chefs Feeding Humanity. So a play on that kind of words. Chefs Feeding Humanity. I think that's what my entity would be called. We might refine that down the road. And just remember, if you don't think money can buy happiness, that's because you haven't given enough of it away. I invite you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like it, share it. If you're a restaurant guy, share it with your restaurant managers. I know how it worked. I was a restaurant manager for years until a couple of weeks ago. Share it with your restaurant manager. Share this knowledge. Down below in the comments, there's going to be a link to my sales funnel where you can go get a free ebook on how to start becoming wealthy. Yes, there are purchases you can make after that. Of course there is. There's always purchases you can make afterwards. I am well into this. I have paid myself back from it. I am 8 months into it. I have paid myself back. I'm making enough money to pay my bills. Am I a millionaire? No. Am I gonna be? Yes. There's not a doubt in my mind that within a few years, maybe a year, I will be a millionaire. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. There is work to be done. I work it every single day for hours and hours and hours. You can do this too, but I work from home. I play with my dogs. If you have kids, you can play with your kids and do this. I invite you to click the link below. Come join me and my friends and live an awesome fucking life.